Hey everybody, and welcome to the Tropical Update from Weather Channel J7409. My name is Jewel. I want to explain a couple of things to you this morning right quick as we go through. One question that's always popped in my mind. Why isn't this thing forming? Why isn't it forming? Well, it's because it's a hybrid storm. Now, that don't mean somebody shot it out of a gun or something like that. See, hybrid storms, you got to think about a hurricane. Now, the hurricanes, they're powered by the evaporation of seawater, right? Well, then when we have winter storms, they're powered by the horizontal temperature contrast in the atmosphere. Well, a hybrid storm is able to tap into both of these energy sources, and that's why they can ramp up fast and can be powerful. And that, as a matter of fact, Sandy was a hybrid storm, and I believe it was back in 2016. One of these storms formed over land in Florida, and it was called Julia. I think it did about $6 billion worth of damage before it was over. You can look up Julia. You can look up what I'm telling you, but that's why this thing has never formed into a depression or a tropical storm. Right now, the winds are 35 miles per hour. The pressure hasn't changed. 1007 millibars. It's located 26.0 north, 91.5 west. Speed is picking right on up though, 14 miles per hour. Still, the National Hurricane Center is giving it a very high chance of forming in the next 48 hours to 5 days. I think it may form, if it's going to, later today. Maybe early Saturday morning, but I think later today. If it's going to form, it will form at that time. Now, as we look at the tracking map from the National Hurricane Center, you can see it's nudged a little farther to the east, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But now the tropical storm warnings are all the way over to the panhandle of Florida. They were not there last evening. I watched this thing last evening, and some of the models would have made the hair stand up on your head. They were kind of scary. But it's not like that now. And it wasn't scary for this area here. It was scarier as it moved across and got in my area. But I'm going to show you all that stuff coming up. Now, according to the National Hurricane Center, they're saying that it should become a tropical storm today, maybe this afternoon. Remain one as it does come inland. Right up in these areas here, turning into a depression when it gets to Alabama, post-tropical depression in Georgia. Then it's going to dip south and come up like this. That's what the track is really looking like. You have to remember now, folks, this can change. Remember, all of this can change. That's why it's so important that everybody has their little stuff together. No matter what, I'm sure some of you are going to lose power during this storm. So make sure you've got your lighting together, your batteries, candles, whatever it is you're going to use, a way to cook you something to eat, all that stuff. You know the routine, so make sure you have it together. As of right now, though, when this thing makes landfall, this is where the National Hurricane Center is predicting it should start to come in. And you can see it's right in this area, right in here. But the tropical storm warnings go on up to around Gary, Matthews, Napoleon, Bell River, Centerville. We move on across here. They go all the way up here, almost to Lydia, as you can see, in these areas here. And also around St. James, Gonzales. Now, I've got a little subscriber, and I don't want you to freak out. This is tropical storm warnings. Looking like maybe the highest winds at this time are about 40, 45 miles per hour. Okay? You can handle that and you'll be okay. There may be a little bit of flooding, inundation, but it shouldn't be that bad. You should be able to handle it, okay? Now, as we move across, I want to see if they've updated this. This is just when it comes in. See, around New Orleans, you're doing the tropical storm thing too, as you can see right in this area here. We'll move across some more. They don't have any up for Biloxi itself. Looking like, though, Biloxi, let's move over here. Well, I'll just say, Biloxi and Mobile, you're going to get these heavy rain bands that are off to the east of it. Looking like going up towards Worthman. You guys are in this tropical storm warning for the Mississippi area here. There's Mobile. You're going to get hit with rain and looking like you're going to be under the tropical storm warning too. Also over here in this area here, as we move across, there's Pensacola. You can see what's going on here. All of you people in these areas, I'm just showing you this. You are the ones that are under the tropical storm watch and warnings. Well, it's really not watches, it's warnings now. So if you're down around Ferry Pass, any of these areas right in here, Robertsdale, you are under this warning at this time. So far as storm surge goes, looking like now the greatest storm surge is going to be 2 to 3 feet down around Louisiana area and around the Mobile Bay area. 2 to 3 feet storm surge. That's what it's looking like. It may come over to Intercoastal City around Vermilion Bay. It could be 2 to 3 feet also. Everyone else over in Florida looks like just 1 to 2 feet. That's what the storm surge is looking like as of now. Now, as we look at GOES 16 channel for the satellite, we will let it run through. You see the storm right in this area, correct? Right in this area. Let's slow it down just a little bit. You can see all this stuff is over to the eastern side. The center's over in here. You shouldn't pay attention to the center right now, okay? And let me tell you, the spaghetti models, they're kind of off. The spaghetti models are not doing a good job tracking the center of the system. And it could these models could give a very misleading impression on the forecast track if used by themselves. So don't go just by the spaghetti models. But it's looking like the system has become a little better organized on the northern end. Now, that's associated with a broad surface trough over the central Gulf of Mexico. And as you can see, it's looking like some deep convection right in this area is trying to ramp on up right now. And that is why these systems, once again, we have to watch them very closely. It still don't have a well-defined center, and it's remaining a post-tropical cyclone. Now, the initial motion is highly uncertain. There is a fair agreement, though, that this northern motion with some reformation of the center should continue as the system remains steered by a subtropical ridge to the southeast. That is what is steering this system. And the low should then turn northeastward and move across the southeastern U.S. And it's looking like no significant changes have been made as of yet to the track forecast and the guidance. But be aware of those spaghetti models. Now, there's still a lot of shear over the Gulf of Mexico, and that should continue through landfall. And I keep hollering, shear wind, dry dust. That was before I found out this is a hybrid in natured storm. And when it is, shear shouldn't prevent its intensification to a tropical storm. Shear's not going to bother it that much. It's going to hamper it a little bit, but it's not going to stop it if it gets up enough steam to fully develop. and it's looking like all of the model guidance is inconsistent with slow strengthening until landfall. Now, after landfall, most of the global models are showing a strong band of heavy rain and tropical storm force winds that should persist on the southeastern side. The expected large distance from the center necessities extending the tropical storm warnings into the northwestern Florida panhandle. Now, given the current anticipation of this structure of this system, do not focus on the track center. The rain, the wind hazards, they're all likely to extend well to the east of the center and arrive well in advance of landfall. Now, it's going to produce probably some considerable flash flooding, urban and small stream flooding beginning today and continuing through the weekend along the central Gulf Coast, with flood impacts spreading northeastward into the southern Appalachians. Now, it's looking like the highest winds at this time should be 45 miles per hour. But as you can see, there's nothing going on. These rain cells, for it to become a tropical storm, they've got to go all the way around. They haven't done that yet. When they do that, we'll have a tropical storm. So still a lot of things to watch, still a lot of things to see. Let's take a quick look at the Euro model. This is over at My Fox Hurricane. It's the latest update. We're moving along. See how it jumps from way down here to right up here where it tries to do a little bit of consolidation. Then it's moving on up. And then it's going to come clean across. Now, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and the northern parts and the western parts of South Carolina. Yeah, you're going to get, it's going to be breezy. I'm going to say it's going to be very breezy at times. Other than that, you shouldn't be affected too much by the wind, but you are going to notice it. I'll say that. Plus, you're going to be getting some rain, and you can see it's come down more south than it has been in the last 28 to 48 hours. Right where that little finger's pointing, that's where the center is there. Then as it moves along, it goes right across my house and up and out. And then when it gets out, it starts moving northward. But there is another more significant low up north. And it's just, as this low pushes off, this one's going to get sucked up by it, and it's going to go on out to sea. So this is what it's looking like as of now, the morning hours of Friday, June the 18th, 2021. Yes, it does have this chance of forming. I've showed you guys where the tropical storm warnings are from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, over to the Florida Panhandle. It will move up. It will come across Atlanta, Georgia. All you guys, you're going to get rain. It's going to be breezy. Also in the northern parts of Alabama and the western parts of South Carolina, moving across to the Piedmont areas of North Carolina, then coastal North Carolina, up and on out. That's what it looks like. Put all the wax in one ball, squeeze it together. That's what it's looking like. Now, by the time it reaches the eastern seaboard here, it will probably be at some point Sunday or Monday. We've got to wait and see if this thing continues to speed up or if it slows down. Remember, it can change and a lot of things can happen. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you are into the weather, I've been doing this for the last 6 years, folks, here on YouTube. I've been trying to keep everybody safe, and when it comes to hurricanes, the people who have followed me for years and years, they know I live in Hurricane Alley, and I know about severe hurricanes. They've seen my house almost get washed out into the sea. So, if you would like to subscribe, I would ask that you kindly do so. And folks, please share this information with your family, your friends, and on your social media. This is important because things are still up in the air and things could change or they may not change. But if they do change and it got worse than it looks right now. People need to be aware, especially in the areas that I've showed you. It will help me keep people safe. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day, my friends. Peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everything you do for me.